What's good, guys? So I'm gonna try and make some Halloween themed stories from now on. It's kind of the mood for Halloween, so why don't we start that? Anyways, today's story is something my mom told me whenever I was little, and it's always creeped me the hell out. So let's get into it. So this story took place with me, my mom, two of my friends, and us walking my dog around the cemetery. So we was walking, just talking and everything, and then eventually she's like, "Kyler," I'm like, "Yeah." I have a story to tell you. I'm like, "Okay, sounds good." So she goes, "So whenever I was little, me and your aunt would not the one I live with, a different one. We decided to get a Ouija board." I was like, "Okay, okay, sounds pretty creepy." She was like, "Yeah." So we got the Ouija board and we decided to play and everything, and it worked, and it was the creepiest thing. And she didn't go into too much detail with how it worked, but she said it worked, and it was super creepy. And like they ended up stop fucking playing and everything, and they forgot to say goodbye. So after they forgot to say goodbye and everything, they took the Ouija board after being creeped out and put it underneath their bed, and they didn't think about it. So the next day, my mom went to my aunt, different one. She passed away, so love you and rest in peace to you. But so she went up to her and was like, told her the whole story, how she was super creeped out, and how she forgot to say goodbye and everything. So she was like, "Okay, well, this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna start a fire, and we're gonna throw it in there." She was like, "Okay." So they start the fire and everything. They throw it in there, and you know what happens? It caught on fire, and fucking like colors were like coming out of the fire pit. Like the smoke was all colorful. The flames were turning green, blue, all that different kind of shit, and it was just crazy. So it was in ashes, fucking everything, completely fine. So the next day, my mom wakes up and she goes to grab something from underneath her bed, and you know what she grabs out on accident? Well, not on accident, like she felt it and pulled it out. She pulled out the fucking Ouija board. And I don't know why, that just always fucking sent shivers down my spine. Like, so yeah, she grabbed the Ouija board and she was freaking the fuck out. Like, completely freaking out. She didn't know what to do, so she called my aunt and was like, told her everything that happened. They were freaking out. My aunt came over and they were talking about it. Like, what the fuck are we gonna do? And they didn't know what to do. They was freaked out. Scary shit was always happening, and yeah, so they ended up putting rocks in the box and putting it in a river or whatever, and they never seen it ever since. So that's story number one. Here's another story my mom told me. So, fucking my mom was in her room one day smoking weed with the same aunt, and they was just smoking and everything. So my grandma came in the room like, "What are you doing?" Like, "Smoking." Like, you're not supposed to be smoking in the house and everything. And my grandma didn't really care. They was arguing a little bit, but it was nothing bad. And um, so yeah, they was talking about it and everything, and then they were like, "You know your dad, uh, something about my grandpa. I can't remember what." And then like the light flickered and shit, like it dimmed down really bright, and then went back up. And they didn't have anything to do that, and my grandma wasn't anywhere near the light or anything, so it couldn't have been her. But my mom could have swore it was like something that her dad was telling her like about it, and it just always made me feel good, like spirits and so, you know what I'm saying. So like, I don't know. I never got to meet my grandpa, and it just, I don't know. I always liked that story. Um, there was just so many. Me and my mom used to talk about so much stuff, and I don't see her anymore. It makes me sad, but she is a really cool person. So let's try and think of another one. There was just so much shit that she used to tell me. It creeped me the hell out. Like, I remember this one time she told me about because I moved to Texas, and I have a story about this soon. But as they were driving, if you ever heard of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, she seen like somebody like tall as fuck when they drove by, and she could have swore it looked just like the dude and everything. But as they drew, it was like all foggy, so they couldn't see their legs. And she fucking was freaking out, and they drove away, and they realized it was a dude on a horse. And I don't know, that was always funny to me. Well, I hope you liked the video. If you did, please press that thumbs up button. I really appreciate it, and make sure to subscribe. Peace.